I'm Josh Cooperman. This is Convo by Design, with a journey today south of the border, Mexico City to be exact, to speak with Sten Studio founder Jose Miguel Schnaider. We're talking about stone, sculpture, lighting, art, and so much more. From a family quarry to original works of art using beautiful gifts, painstakingly unwrapped from their multi-million year formation process that is both a big responsibility and an unparalleled opportunity to create something truly unique. Using the minerals and materials unearthed, using select manufacturing techniques, Juan Miguel crafts some incredible works, but not alone. This is a conversation too about collaboration and teamwork. It dawned on me while writing the preamble for this episode that a consistent and constant theme that is present in every one of the 400 plus previous conversations and from each of the 800 plus creatives I've spoken with over the past 10 years, there is a state of wonder, I feel. I was having a conversation recently with the CEO of a rather large company. We were just chatting about life in general, and I realized something. My friend's creative pilot light, if you will, had gone out. As we delved deeper, it became evident that there was no joy in what he did, only obligation. The need to keep things going forward, sales, R&D, stock price, no bad press, no scandals, burnout will surely follow. At some point, he knows this. The goal for him is to hang on as long as possible, get as close as he can to the day when he can eventually cut the cord and letting go. That's an interesting idea, isn't it? Think about that for just a moment. Just keeping all the balls in the air versus living each breath in a state of awe and wonder. Nobody I know has reached that level of awareness. Some are far closer than I, but the goal is to eventually get there. Why so philosophical today? Not sure, but I think it has to do with this conversation and the idea of walking through a yard of newly unearthed minerals, geodes, all of different shapes, materials, knowing that I would have the opportunity to craft them into something completely unique. Art. Isn't that what life really is all about? Taking the unknown, opportunity, discovery, and crafting it into something you can be proud of. Whether it's a sculpture or a lamp, a student athlete, it's all part of the same idea. A structure, interior design, it's all part of the same idea, and we're going to explore that a little bit today, right after this. I am so incredibly proud of my partnership with ThermaSol. They have been presenting partners of Convo by Design for 3 years now, and there is a certain amount of pride that comes from saying that the show is presented by the company that is the best in the world at what they do. I think ThermaSol makes the greatest steam shower generators in the world for a few reasons. They were first to do it here in the United States, dating back to 1958. They operate a world-class factory here in the U.S. in Round Rock, Texas, where they have an engineering team that designs, tests, and continually refines the product. They test every single steam generator before it leaves the factory. Who else does that? Nobody. I have had the pleasure of working with some world-class designers and architects who tell me, and I think you know this, that the idea of luxury has changed, especially when clients want a spa-like bathroom. Steam is mandatory, or it's just not luxury. And if you want to add steam, you have one true option, the best in the biz, and that's ThermaSol. Mitch Altman, third-generation CEO of this family-owned business, continues to innovate with Smart Shower, a technological marvel, aromatherapy, chromotherapy, and so many options. And it's easy to size and simple to configure. Check out all the available options at thermasol.com because a bathroom isn't truly luxury without steam, and there is really only one option if you want the best. It's ThermaSol. I love a good origin story. Tell me the story. So first of all, you're in Mexico City right now?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
We are based in Mexico City. I initiated the studio 3 years ago in 2019. It was born by an accident, as you wanted to hear the story. Because I don't have well, back at that time, I didn't have any background in design or furniture design at all. And first, I was working with my family. They have like this business of crystals and fossils here in Mexico. And after 3 years working with them, I kind of were implying to make like a more ambitious project, focusing in like more high-end products, focusing in like the quality of the stones. And in the business they have, they focus more in like volume and general public stuff rather than the specialized and very fine quality and rareness and uniqueness that the world of the stones have to offer. So when I left the company, I was like, well, what should I do? I really like this, but I don't know what to do. I don't know also how to draw. Like, to be honest, like I had all these limitations in my head, saying like I was not able to do it. So, but I wanted to do it. So I thought that the best outcome, the best result could be like collaborating with other people from Mexico City, other designers, like me bringing the materials that I'm very specialized and that I know very well, and then start creating like our pieces. So that's what happened, and it was very nice. The outcome of the first collection, aesthetically, and the concept that we developed, it was very nice. But I was not happy with the with the production, and I started like doing lots of research of how our quality could increase and how it could be a better product. And I started to be involved more in production. And then after that, I started to questioning myself, why shouldn't I like draw or like imagine what I wanted to like express in furniture. And that's how I with little less skills in drawing, I started to like try to draw some sketches. Um, I went with an industrial designer to to learn my ideas, and then this is how it all started. And the studio, so the first collection, I did it for Sonamaco Design, which is like the art and the design for Mexico City. So also that first experience was like kind of not of a revelation, but it was an intense experience because I arrived and I had the background of the stones and the art and how a booth of an art fair of an antiques show it should be, but not like design. So I arrived and I put the furniture very clean, very white, and suddenly I started seeing like all these amazing productions of all these amazing Mexican designers, and I was like, okay, damn, like this is not the way it has to be done. But I learned, and it was very nice because in that moment I did many good sales, and I produced a piece and sent it to an architect, and they put it in a project. So to be honest, I never had the chance also to start building the brand or start building the studio, like photographing or like creating the web page or social media. I was just like producing and selling, but that was not like the smartest plan. I mean, and then the next year, on 2020, the second collection was developed. That one I designed it. I presented in Sonamaco as well. But then the feedback was very good. But then the pandemic arrived and everything stopped. But for me, it was a very good moment because I could focus in like making photographs, like building the brand, like start existing in the world. So to be very honest, the pandemic was very good for me. Um, then at the end of 2020, I decided to start applying for design competitions. That's where I designed a very nice lamp. I'm gonna send you pictures of everything. And to be honest, that lamp exceeded my expectations when I saw it like in person. I automatically started like applying in all these design competitions because I was like, okay, this is good. Like I really think this can like meet the standards for like winning a competition or like just to be among like very creative and talented people. And there's this competition called LAMP, which is partnered with Design Milk, design platform, and the LAMP won the professional category in the People Choice Award for the competition. So it was very nice. But then I didn't have like an office or a space to work. I was just working by myself, doing everything myself. Um, and then I decided that it was time to like, okay, let's get an office, let's hire someone, and let's make the move to start like growing or other ways to start like showing the work of the studio. And on 2021 is when, for the first time, I traveled to New York to present our pieces in Wanted Design with a small booth, which was a very nice experience. I started to meeting like all these people from the this interior design industry in New York that were giving good feedback, and that was good. And so the motto was like, okay, we need to keep moving. We need to move forward. We need to do more. And like, what can we do to like generate impact? Like, so I haven't said, but the essence of the studio is like using like all of these rocks and materials that have not been explored that much in the design field. So I think that's a lot of our value proposition because we are introducing new materials that feel new and fresh, and they're rare and they're like unique, and the colors and what nature have to offer is like so wide and so amazing that then we have like an amazing, let's call it like canvas to like start like applying like all this knowledge in the rocks and minerals to evolve them and transform them into like beautiful pieces.
So let me ask you a question. What is it about the stones? What is it about the minerals? What is it about? And I get that your introduction was through your family, but it feels to me, and it seems from your story, that your connection to interior design, trying to figure out your way, trying to figure out what you wanted to do, trying to figure out who you are as a creative, you got there through geology. You got there through your family's stones and mineral business. But the introduction can only take you so far, right? So I'm curious, when you make the choice that that's what you want your medium to be, how do you decide what you want to create out of that?
Well, first, I needed to understand fully the materials to see what were like the limitations that the materials can have. For example, there are some minerals that you can only like get in like small sizes rather than big sizes to produce like big pieces. So first was understanding like, okay, this is the material we want to use and how can we transform it? And then it's when the ideas start to flow in different ways of how we could apply like these minerals. For example, they're like obsidian that you get like very big rocks and you can slab it, and then like you have like the beautiful uh, uh, center coffee tables. Or for example, there are quartz that you can have like not a huge rock. I mean, you can, but like in terms of quality, it's gonna be like super milky and not very transparent. So for me, I also like to focus in like the purest version of the stone. So I like to focus lots in the quality. For example, in this one right here, let me show you a little bit. So this is an installation we are installing right now in the studio. It's a wall piece made of different minerals. For example, this is black opal. This is tiger jasper. We have amethyst, blue agate. For example, this little rock that it has like the little druids inside the sphere. Like I couldn't get this mineral like in a very big size. So it was like, okay, we have like this medium, we have like these materials, but then how we could use it. So that's when where we start like developing ideas. And right now in the studio is very nice because we are a group of 4 very creative people, which all the time are producing very nice ideas. So the conversation is really nice to be here because always is like for some project or other, even if it's like furniture or other kind of product or design, like we're always like thinking new ways. Let's see, we also like to combine and mix materials to like enhance like the color of one by using like, for example, lava stone mixed with red onyx, and then the contrast in the colors is like so intense that then you have like a very statement piece, which is like beautiful and it's nice and it's different and it's unique. So it's like, I don't know, it's like understanding the materials first, and then like we start having conversations about what we can create.
With regard to starting the business, and I get starting the studio, you know, it's fun for me to talk to creatives like you, because you started with something where you've got a known material because, you know, your family works with it, your family has access to it. But it's not just having access to or knowing a material, it's what you do with it, right? That's what makes it so interesting. So you decide to start this studio, the pandemic hits. And by the way, it's really interesting to me, you're not the first person that I've spoken to who has said the pandemic wasn't a terrible thing for me. I think that, you know, when we look back on this time, these 2.5, 3 years will have provided that downtime that now life has gotten so completely complicated again, but it provided that downtime for people's brains to catch up with their activities. It's funny because I talked to my kids did not have the same experience that I did, but it wasn't bad for me. Like as a writer, as a journalist, I got to explore new ideas. I got to do new things. I got to talk to new people in far off places. Whereas maybe in the past, I was just so focused locally and where I was. How has that affected you as a creative? How has that affected the studio? I imagine that, you know, with the lamp and with submissions for competitions, But that's the artistic side. That's the creative side of the studio. What has it done for the business side? What does the business side look like for you?
Well, in the pandemic, of course, everything stopped. But as you were saying, also for start building the brand, like that time gave me the foundation to really establish the studio and start like being able to create the identity and create the content. So then we could like start selling and start like working more and more in the sales. To be honest, it's until now that the studio is sustainable, but it's by itself. I have other projects that thanks God are very successful, and that those projects have been like funding the studio. But right now it's getting like right now it's getting like rolling, and we're getting more projects, and like our pieces our pieces are getting very good feedback, are going to very nice houses in the States. Like right now, like we just sent like an installation for an Aspen house. Um, we're sending one to New York. Like there's an institute in New York also that bought many of the pieces. So right now, to be honest, like it's very sustainable right now. We also like, for example, we are not limited in like thinking that that I want I want just the pieces to be sold. For example, we are working with this very nice perfume brand, and we are developing their caps made of stones. This is like a custom project, but like it's very nice because like we are also contributing in making like someone else's, like, I don't want to say dream, but like project to be like tangible. So I think that's very nice, and it has a lot of value. So right now I could say that the studio, rather than focusing just in our pieces, we are like opening our scope to make it work better as a business as well and make it more efficient.
You're listening to my conversation with Juan Miguel of Sten Studio. We'll be right back. Design Hardware's newly remodeled showroom is where you will find a gallery-style space with a thoughtful display of products, purposefully positioned to allow unbridled exploration and discovery. High-end faucets, luxury tile, natural stone, wood floors, and bespoke hardware selections are presented in a holistic manner, strategically arranged to stimulate creativity and transition your vision from the conceptual stage to a fully realized space. Conveniently located, free parking available. Stop by to find your inspiration. Collect samples, get expert advice, and tackle everything on your shopping list all in one place. Visit them online at designhardware.com or in the real world, 6053 West 3rd Street in Los Angeles. The artistic side of the studio aside, talk to me about the side of the business. Talk to me about when you look at sales, when you look at partnerships, when you look at business development and the actual sales of your creative work. How did you approach that, especially at a time when you didn't really have access? So much of the creative industry, design, architecture, the arts, is done person to person, through events, through showcases, through collaborative work. When there was no access to that, how do you price the work? How do you get your sales started in that environment?
Well, I think, to be honest, I have seen, I have made a lot of research in pricing as well to like see where our products could fit better in terms of like price, materials. So starting that working with minerals and rock, and that most of them can be very rare and can have a high value, are our prices by default are a little high, I would say. But to be honest, I like to make an analysis to just to to put what I consider to be that it's fair in the market. For example, last week I was in LA, and I visited a showroom that wants to represent our pieces, and he was like, "Hey, these tools are so cheap. You have to increase the price." Like, and to be honest, I was not agree, because it was like, for me right now, in the moment we are as the studio, and that we are like keep building the brand and getting to be known. I rather that the studio like get attention more because of the quality of the pieces, the materials, the aesthetics of the piece, but also because it has a reasonable price, and it is like what the market is offering right now. Like I don't believe that I have to increase my prices just to be, because I'm in a showroom in Beverly Hills. I don't like I don't know. For me, that's not like I want to drive the business.
Well, let me ask you this then: how do you prioritize the type of work that you do? So you've got the unique work, the sculptural work that you have that you're putting on the walls, like that piece, for example. You've got the custom work that you're doing with the lids, for example. You've got with the caps, rather. You've got the lamps. At some point, scaling to size is also very challenging. How have you prioritized and approached which vertical you want to excel in, and which ones maybe can wait until later?
Well, to be completely honest, and also how the business has been driven and how the decisions have been made, it's been more like project by project, that every project is getting like more and more ambitious, and we also, with this knowledge and like what we have been able to develop, like we get like we increase our confidence in ourselves to like make things in larger scales, and then like seeing what other creative people are doing in design, in art, in like any creative field, like also like inspire us to like keep desiring to make things bigger and create like this concept that we want to transmit. So it is, for example, we started the small with these wall installations that I just show you, but then an interior designer was like, "Hey, I have like this very big wall, which is 4 meters long. I don't know in feet. Wait, it's around it's around like 13 feet long." And he was like, "Okay, I have this wall, so what we can do?" And also, like, we have another client that has been like sending us like, "Okay, I want to make a piece this size," and every time like they have been increasing his size. And with my project director Braulio, sometimes we look at each other and it's like, can we make it? Do we think like we can like develop it, or we can make it? And at the end, like we smile and we are like, "Okay, let's do it. Let's take the risk and let's see what happens." And like, of course, I don't want to say that we have had like some failures, but because I don't see it like a huge failure, but like sometimes like we see lots of opportunity areas. Like, okay, here this was good, this was like not excellent, but we can like increase quality here, and like we are keep learning and just becoming better. And like, I don't know, like the studio is full of like positive people, positive energy, and it's like it's just very nice to like go with the flow. And by going with the flow and just like flowing, literally. Things have happened. So it's been very nice.
I love that. So what's next? Talk to me about as an artistic creative studio, how you get yourself represented. How did you get yourself shown in galleries in New York and Beverly Hills? How do you get yourself shown at other galleries? How do you expand your profile? And more to the point, how do you expand this profile, considering that the US is a market for you, Europe is a market for you, Latin America is a market for you. How do you prioritize those markets? And because you're in Mexico City, how do you get your work out? How do you expand? How do you build to scale?
Well, it's like showing in fairs. I think what it has opened us the door to getting into the U.S. market. It was by showing in this design fair in New York, and like when we were participating, we designed like the booth we had this year. It was more of an experience rather just the pieces of the studio. Like we developed a concept, a project. Like there was like a huge curation. So like the people started to notice more and to engage more with what we are doing, and also like going to events, meeting people, like we are focusing in our PR skills. But as you said, for example, I'm based in Mexico City, but like for example, the design culture is this size compared to the US that is like this size. So that's why like we wanted to keep in mind like okay, this is this is a bigger market. So then we start thinking and developing the plans and the strategies to how we could reach like these people. Right now, for example, I would love to do a show in California, because in California, the trend about crystals and minerals is like super huge and it's a vibe. And in New York, it's starting to like get going. And I'm very happy that in New York we have been. I don't want to be. I don't want to say lucky, but like we have been lucky to getting into the New York market. But I'm sure that if we like put our energy also like in California, the outcome could be like huge, because the trend of like minerals, like they just love it. So right now, as the strategy, I would like to be more solid, or have a solid presence in the U.S., and then I would like to attack Europe. So
Do
uh,
you build and house product, or do you build when ordered?
mm, well, we can do both.
Well, I ask because that's a big question. For many of the creators that I talk to, who start a line, or who are creating unique pieces. Do you create, and then take the product and house it till you find the buyer for it, which comes with its own unique set of challenges. Many designers that I know will just, they love to shop, and they will continue to shop, and they'll put pieces in their own house and live with them until they find the clients for whom they're going to specify this product and put it in their homes. But I'm curious for you, and because it's a business decision, you have to factor in storage facilities, you have to factor in material costs to build in advance, you have to factor in shipping costs, you have to factor in the time and opportunity cost that's perhaps lost if you don't overproduce prior to selling. So, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious how you've chosen to approach it.
Well, we started with, well, it's an interesting question because also like thinking in the decisions that have just happened in the studio. Um, well, like there are some materials that are very easy to have access to that then we could think in like a smaller scale because we are able to get like the material very quick. But for example, right now, I found this crazy golden Calacata marble from the United States that has like the paint that it has. It's like kind of golden and sand-ish color, and I completely fell in love with that material, and it was not worth for us like just buying a block. I needed to fill a container, so it could be like worth the purchase of the material. So now, right now, it's on its way to Mexico, a whole container of this very beautiful material, and we will make like a lot of pieces. Like we have our line, for example, the stools line. It's a line that people really like. That it's very easy to fit into any home. It could be for outdoors or indoors since it's like solid rocks and they don't have, it's just a rock. It doesn't have any other kind of material. It doesn't have a glue, like everything is like a stone and gravity. That's it. And so that's why it's very easy to like put it anywhere you can imagine it. But this line, so we can produce and produce and produce, but since also they are made like the mineral itself, the rock is completely unique. It's like it can be a line product, but it's still, at the same time it's still a unique piece. So we have been able to find like that balance to create like line products, but at the same time that they keep and remain the essence of being unique. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. No, it makes perfect sense. I love that. I love your work. You know what I'm excited for, and I want to circle back. Do you currently work with many interior designers? Are they specifying your work yet? You know, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for creative studios, artists to get their work to be specified by designers. I'm just curious if you're starting to get worked into interiors.
We are working now with interior designers, but we are just sending like the pieces. So we don't have pictures yet also of where they put it or how the project looks. But I think it will arrive at a time. And to be completely honest with you, like I'm not also in a rush. Like I rather to to maintain the vision of what we're doing, and focusing more about the concept and the pieces. And then if we are mentioned in a project of an interior designer of, let's say like, we get into the interior design magazine or whatever, like little by little, like I'm not in a rush. And I like, to be honest, I want the studio to be known than the studio, and that the studio gets attention because of the pieces rather than thinking of ego, of fame, or like I don't know. I'm just not like that.
That's unique. I mean, that's different.
That's why it is called Sten Studio. Like it's not a name, because like, to be honest, I really want people to pay attention to the pieces. So, because the pieces are super cool.
I love that. And I agree. I think they are as well. Jose, I cannot thank you enough for the time today. This was so much fun. I love your work. And here's the deal. I would love when you do start getting images of work in design, I would love to see what some designers can do with your work.
Super. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was very fun, and it was very nice speaking to you as well.
We are living at a time of incredible growth, both technologically and creatively, with respect to interior design, exterior design, and architecture. There is no question. There are companies thinking differently about the business of design and how to make products super serve those for whom they're being made. One of those companies, and one of my favorites, is Moya Living, designer and fabricators of some of the most stunningly beautiful, incredibly durable, and highly functional kitchen, bath, and outdoor kitchen cabinetry on the market today. Powder-coated steel with stunning lines, vibrant colors to fit any design style or aesthetic. A history of designing cabinetry for the scientific community, so you know it's been tested in some of the truly the most harsh conditions available. Moya O'Neill is the CEO and founder of Moya Living. She's the inspiration behind the design. Designers, their specification process is so simple, it will make your job so much easier. Check them out online through the socials at Moya Living, their website, moyaliving.com, and in the real world, their live kitchen showroom in Fountain Valley, California. Convo by Design is more than just a podcast. I'm not sure if you know that. I have spent the past 10 years building a production company and consulting firm that develops brand ambassador programs, CEUs, live event programming, as well as branded content for companies in the design and architecture industry, including designers, architects, furnishing companies, showrooms, and others in the trade. We have content producer talent in every region of the country and can help you grow your design business through brand development campaigns, social media, and CEU content development and production, as well as content consulting and live event programming to help you build strong and meaningful partnerships that will help you grow and strengthen your design business. For more information, message me at Convo by Design with an X on Instagram or email me convobydesign@outlook.com, ConvoBydesign@outlook.com. Thank you, Juan Miguel. Loved our chat, and I love what you do. Thank you, Convo by Design partners and sponsors, Thermosol, Moya Living, and Design Hardware for your continued support. And thank you for taking the time every week to share some time together and hear stories behind sublime design. Check the show notes for links to Juan Miguel and Sten Studio and our social media links. Also, please keep emailing me with your suggestions and guest submissions, convobydesign@outlook.com. I love them, and keep them coming. Love it. Until next week, remember why you do what you do and for whom you do it. Be well, and take today first.